Okay, first grade, you are looking at a calendar observation chart. It looks a little bit different, doesn't it? It looks different because there are more days on it. We have been looking at just 3 days at a time, but on this chart you see everything from December 1st all the way down to December 12th. This is going to help us to see the pattern that was on the calendar grid this month. Let's go back and see what we saw. On December 1st, we saw a jar, and it was the shape of a cylinder, so we recorded it in that first column. Then we saw a crayon box, and we put that in the rectangular prism column. And then we saw some grapes that were the shape of a sphere. And then on December 4th, we saw a block that was a perfect cube. So we had one cylinder, one rectangular prism, one sphere, and one cube on our calendar grid. Then on December 5th, we came and we saw another cylinder. It was a magic marker, if you remember. And on December 6th, the very next day, we saw a cup that we also decided was the shape of a cylinder. The next day, we saw an ice cream sandwich, and we put it with the rectangular prisms. On December 8th, we saw a pet cage, and then we thought it was also the shape of a rectangular prism. It had the 6 flat faces and the 8 vertices that we know they have. The next day, we jumped over to a sphere when we saw a basketball. And then we had another sphere right after that when we saw the cherries. On December 11th, we had a cardboard box that was also a perfect cube. We knew it was a cube because all the faces were perfect squares. And then we saw some different blocks that were also cubes. So let's see what we had. We had 2 cylinders, 2 prisms, 2 spheres, and 2 cubes. So we went from 1 of each 3-dimensional shape up to 2 of each 3-dimensional shape. It will be very interesting to see if this pattern continues for the rest of the month.